Hello and welcome to Brett Dupree's Awesome Health Journey, Mental Health Awareness Week month. So I'm talking about my mind all week, or at least till Sunday, which I guess is all week. Today I'm talking about sadness. Sorry, just brushed my teeth. Sadness sucks. It's one of my least favorite emotions. When I cry, my first thought is, I want to stop crying. I hate crying. I've never been good at it. I've only started being able to cry about, jeez, I was 26 when I started this process. And I mean cry like a normal person, not like something happened that made me so sad that I just burst into tears. No, just like be able to watch a movie and something sad happens and see a tear. I used to laugh at my family growing up when they cried at movies. I still think that's funny. But yeah, but to be able to just cry normally, or, jeez, 44 now. So it's probably 8 years ago, 10 years ago. I mean, I was definitely in my 30s. Um, yeah, where I could cry normally, what I would consider normally. I know what is normal. Well, I think being able to cry without just only because like somebody died or you got broken up with. And one thing I've learned though is if you do hold in your feelings, you can cry at unopportune times. I remember once I cried at work because I got dumped. And like the second day afterwards, it really hit me, and I just couldn't handle it. That was in 2012. That was an embarrassing day. Yeah, I don't like crying in front of people either. Well, anyway, I've been really working on that. Going through really going through the breakup that I went through. Really actually dealing with it instead of pushing it down and numbing it and kind of ignoring it and talking to her every day. So breaking contact and really just noticing the feelings of loss. I asked her to marry me. I thought we were going to get married and spend the rest of our life together. So there's like losing the future, but I also missed the connection. I mean, yes, we broke up. It was mostly mutual, and we just weren't working out. But there's still the connection that was great. There's a lot of great parts of that relationship that was awesome. She's a great woman, and like I miss all those good parts that I really loved about the relationship. And um, so for a while I cried them out and just feeling bad and actually allowing myself to feel the feelings instead of pushing them down and numbing them, because honestly, I'm working on my two huge areas of my numbing, which is food and spending, and I can't watch enough TikTok to not feel my feelings. So, food was great. Food, 100% great number, and if you mix that in with spending, 100% great, because like you're freaking out about money, like you can really push away some of your bad feelings. I mean, yeah, they'll come up and you'll feel sad. I'll feel sad and lonely, but like if I'm too busy worrying about the money I'm spending because I'm eating too much, and then because I feel like a huge fat sack of crap, it's So like I almost had no choice. But I learned two things during this time. Number one, Inside Out is right. Sadness does help. Now when I think about that and how much I do miss it, and I still do, and hopefully someday I'll find it with somebody else who's more fitting for me, is that and what I want in a relationship. And but yeah, where was it going? Oh yeah, um, I still miss that, but like I don't feel like crying anymore when I think about it. It feels kind of sad. It feels kind of lonely, but I don't really feel like crying. Now, what to do with that sadness? I don't really lonely, and I don't know what. I'm still thinking about that. Do I transmute it and think of it as joy, or is that spiritually bypassing? I don't know. But what I have learned is that like I don't feel as sad, and this processing it allows me to quote unquote move to the best thought. Like I remember listening to Abraham, and she's like, "Don't wallow in the negative thought because you can't manifest or whatever bullshit about the vortex or whatever." But the reality is like sometimes I need to just feel sad. I need to feel that loss. I need to process it. I need my brain neurons to fire in a way so that I believe it just breaks them up a little bit, right? It makes them so they're not as charged, or I don't. It breaks something. Something happens in your brain when you cry about loss, right? And it allows my brain to process and deal with it. And now I can process and deal with it. I don't feel like crying. I don't. I'm able to move past that, and I feel like my goal is to be ready to, full on try to dates in August, and I think I can do that. I think more and more I get more and more fine with that. And also learn the second thing is like sadness in itself is an action. Like a lot of times, especially when I feel bad and depressed and sad, and I don't do anything that day other than feel sad and depressed. I feel bad because I didn't do anything that day. And that's just another way for, as one thing I do like about Abraham, is an excuse to feel bad. And sadness in itself is an action. Being sad and crying, that takes a lot of energy. I mean, that's a lot. And it hurts. And like doing things, and if you absolutely don't have to do them, right? I'm like, you know, just shower and eat and do all the things they care of. And if you have to go grocery shopping, go grocery shopping. But if you don't have to do them, if it's like the choice between being sad or playing video games or cleaning your apartment a little bit more, think to yourself, like, instead of thinking like I've learned, instead of thinking like I should have done all those things, I shouldn't have. I should have just been sad. I should have been sad and processed my emotions to let my brain do what it needs to do so that I can feel better the next day. Because I notice every time I really cry about something, every time I really feel that sadness, and I don't try to like sit in self pity about it, I just try to process it. I'm trying to like, oh my God, this feels bad. This is why it feels bad. I feel bad. I feel bad. I feel bad. And once there's a point where it feels I've done enough. And I'm sure it's way worse, of course, if somebody died or, something ridiculously terrible happens. Knock on wood that I get like cancer or something. That's gonna be a lot of crying, and that's gonna be a lot of trying to push through it and deal with it, you know? But like something like a breakup or something like that, or any other kind of sad thing that's not like super, super tragic, I think is processable through crying. And I'm sure cancer, and I mean, my uncle died 10 years ago, and it probably would have been better if I just spent 2 weeks or a month crying than what I did, which is eating ice cream and cake. And I'm not joking. I ate a lot. I talk about Ben and Jerry's and a QFC cake almost every freaking night. And yeah, that's how I spiritually dealt with that. Yeah, that was a way to raise my vibration. But like, yeah. So basically, I'm learning more and more that sadness is just part of the human condition, and I should just be better at it, being sad and recognizing that sadness is an action in itself and not something for me to beat myself up because I didn't do the dishes that night because I was too busy crying over something that I was sad about. So yeah, so that's me talking about sadness and learning about it at the age of 44. That's normal. Something I should have learned when I was 8. But what? Inside Out wasn't out then. Inside Out wasn't out then. Damn you, Disney! I blame you. Anyway, like and subscribe. If you hate Disney, write a comment. If you love Disney, write a comment. I know, I'm just joking. Love you.